We are now joined by our second place finisher in today's Buckle Up 200 presented by Click It or Ticket here at Dover International Speedway with Trevor Bayne, driver of the number 6 Advocare Ford, currently fourth in points, finishing second today. Talk a little bit about the race out there today.
Yeah, I'm just glad we had a good run because I was a little worried I might eat my words a little bit. Jack Roush came up to me in the driver's meeting, and I told him it's the best Dover car I've ever had. So at that point, he said, "Are you sure it's the best Dover car you ever had?" And I told him, "Yeah." So I knew we had to battle hard today to get that run. I promised him. This is a great start to the summer for us. I feel like we were a little more competitive last weekend at Charlotte, and now we've made some big gains this weekend here at Dover with my best finish I've ever had here, and I feel like the most competitive car we've had all season. So I'm really proud of this Advocare team. It seemed like the first part of the season we've been a top 10 car every weekend, but we haven't had the speed to break into the top 5, and Chad and those guys have been working really hard, a lot of hours at the shop trying to get these things figured out, and I feel like this weekend we were a lot closer, and it was a really solid run for our Advocare Mustang.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for Trevor. We'll start in the middle. Chris
Knight, CatchFast.com. Trevor, does last week's announcement at Charlotte give you a new wave of confidence at any of the summer sprints? You look pretty strong here today.
Man, I wish I could relate confidence to speed, but it doesn't ever seem to work that way. Sometimes I've had all the confidence in the world, and that makes me overdrive it and slow down. So I think, it's just the fact that we're starting to hit it a little bit in the summer. That normally seems to be when we're better anyways, but that announcement last week is definitely no hindrance. It's a great thing to be able to talk about and get us really excited for next season. But I don't think it really changes anything for this year. This nationwide series is really, really tough, and we know we're going to have to work hard. And I feel like this weekend we just hit on a couple things that got that speed we've been looking for all season.
We are also joined now by CElliott, driver of the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet, who is our top finishing rookie today by finishing 5th, currently 3rd in points. Chase, talk a little bit about your race today.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. I think the difference was, we were on the same strategy as Kyle, and he just did a better job getting back to the front, and I didn't. So I think that was the difference maker today, and lesson learned for in the fall race when it really counts.
Okay, we got a couple of questions. We'll open it up. We'll take one right back here, then go up to Holly, then back, I think, to Seth. Had his hand up.
Matt Weaver, PopularSpeed.com. This question is for both of you guys because you kind of are in a similar position with the points. Do you feel like you need to get back to victory lane for Chase for one, but for you too, Trevor, to be able to make gains on the leaders, or can you just do it through consistency and getting a little bit of luck?
Well, I think consistency is going to pay off, especially as we get to the road courses. Another super speedway race, as close as we are, within 30 points, one bad race for those guys could bring them right back. So we need to be consistent. I think it's a lot easier to race toward the front, though. When you get in that top 5, it seems like everything is easier. Your car drives better. The guys don't race you as hard. Racing 9th to 12th every weekend, it seems like you're on the edge every lap. So, I think having fast race cars will make it easier for us to make those gains in points. And obviously, I feel like we need to get a win this season, with or without points. We were able to do that last year, and to be competitive at this level, you want to get the victory lane. That's why on days like today, you get a little bit greedy. When you get that close and finish second, you just want a little bit more to be able to go to victory lane. But I know if we can run like we did today consistently, we'll definitely work our way into victory lane when everything goes our way.
We'll take our next question from Holly.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. That was kind of what my question was about, was how tough the championship is and needing, everyone's getting top 5s and top 10s and what separates it. Chase, I wanted to ask you what this says. We're not even halfway in the season and you're frustrated with a 5th place finish. If you could just talk about that.
Yeah, well, just, we just got to, I just got to do a better job, like today. I feel like that was honestly the difference maker. These cars are so close, and, I don't think Kyle has any better car than we do. I think he just did a little better job than I did today. That's when I get mad at myself, is because I know I can do better. So, I'm proud of the effort that we gave. I feel like we had a car that was capable of winning the race, giving things go our way a little bit. So we just got to regroup and fine-tune before we come back here and just make sure that we keep trying to improve. We go through these summer stretches and we go to different racetracks. We go to Michigan, which is kind of a place we haven't been to yet, with a lot of grip, a big 2.5-mile racetrack, and then we go road racing. So we just got to try to be as good on all these different places as we can. And, obviously if we don't, we got to keep performing better than we did today, or we're going to have a lot of work to do. So we just got to make sure we try to keep striving and get back to victory lane again soon.
Okay, we'll go to the back now and take a question from Seth. Go ahead.
Seth Livingstone, NASCAR News Service. For Trevor, with the 15 laps to go. You got to within about 0.3 of a second of Kyle. At that point, you've got a lot of lap traffic. Did you think you had anything for him at that point?
Yeah, I definitely did. It seemed like about 20 to go, we started making some pretty good gains on him. His car was really loose, and if he missed it a little bit, it would wiggle up the racetrack, and that's what allowed me to catch him as much as I did within 0.3. And the way our Ford drive was on exit, I thought I was going to be able to get to him and make a move. He got through lap traffic a little bit better than I did on timing, being able to get by him. And that separated us a little bit. I caught him again and just ran the front tires off the car trying to catch him. We struggled with being pretty tight in and off today. In that last run, we got it even tighter somehow. So his car being free, it seemed to last a little bit longer than mine did. He said he was giving it everything he had at the end. I went and talked to him in victory lane, and he said it was all he had to get it done, and I can promise you it was all I had to try to catch him. We just couldn't be consistent enough to keep it on the bottom. If I missed the bottom of the racetrack by maybe a foot, it would just take off, and I would lose a couple car links. So maybe if I hit it perfect every single lap, I could have been at his rear bumper and had a run at him, but just was a little bit inconsistent there at the end, and it allowed him to get away.
Any final questions? Okay, Kelly.
Kelly Crandall from Popular Speed. Trevor, what's the difference with this team last year, from last year to this year? Last year you struggled, it seemed like, to find consistency, and this year you've only been out of the top 11 once. So what's the difference with this team this year? What's the mindset, and where's the confidence at?
I feel like we were a little bit hot and cold last year. We would either really hit it or we would really have a bad day, and those bad days sometimes were self-inflicted. So I feel like I've matured a little bit as a driver. On those days when I have an 8th place car, I try to run, a little better than that if I can, but if we end up 8th, then that's where we end up. You're not going to win races with an 8th place car as good as the whole competition in the field is now. So we've known we've got to work on our race cars and take what we can at the beginning of the season. I feel like we've definitely done a better job of that. Jason Hedleski, my spotter, has done a great job keeping me calm in those moments. I mean, today when we're battling 3 wide for second on those last couple restarts, it was getting crazy, and without Jason keeping me calm, who knows what might have happened. So, I feel like it's a whole team chemistry, communication barrier. If you're pushing too hard when the car doesn't have it in it, you make mistakes, and we've eliminated that a little bit better this year. But we've got to continue to do that with guys like Chase running like he does. Those guys, they really hit it and they win races, or they kind of do what we did last year and might have a couple races where stuff happens, and that's going to happen throughout the season. And that's why I feel like we need to be consistently running top 5 every weekend if we're going to be in this championship battle when guys like Chase and Regan and Elliott are able to do that.
Okay, we'll take our final question in the middle from Chris.
ChrisKnightKitchens.com again for both Trevor and Chase. Just one quick questions. What are you guys doing next weekend for your off weekend? And 2, can you guys give a quick in look to Motor City and Michigan International Speedway, big race for the manufacturers?
As far as my off week, I'm not sure. Just try to try to get best prepared as we can from Michigan. Kind of leads to your second question. I have no idea. I've never been there before, so we'll have to see when we get there.
He seems to do pretty good at places he's never been, so I don't think he should worry too much. But for us, my wife and I, it's our 1-year anniversary coming up this week. So Advocare, Richard and Sherry Wright have a little place down in Seaside we're going to go hang out at for a little bit at the beach. So it's going to be a nice little time off, but I can promise you we'll be thinking about Michigan as we close in on the weekend. Chad and those guys are not going to the beach, unfortunately for them, but they're going to be working hard getting our cars dialed in, and I'll send them a picture or something to make them, I don't know, see the beach. But, I really like Michigan International Speedway. It's a Ford racetrack, so it's a big weekend for us running double duty in the Motorcraft Quick Lane Ford and the Sprint Cup Series, and then Advocare Mustang and the Nationwide Series. So I like getting double track time. I feel like I can learn a lot, and we had a strong run there last year, so I'm looking forward to it.